of Africans. And just like the Chinese
NTA International News.
President Jonathan sues for commitment to deepen Nigeria's democracy. D8 member states meet in Abuja to move to facilitate usage of technology for wealth creation. Nigeria launches online aviation passenger service portal to boost service delivery. Plus, implementation of austerity measure, groups urges federal government to diversify the economy. Hello there, so good to have you join us on NTA International. 15 general elections, Nigerians, especially the political class, have been urged to review their commitment to deepen democracy in Nigeria rather than fanning the ember of discord and disunity among its people. President Goodluck Jonathan stated this at the official presentation of Kuka Center in Abuja. State House correspondent Shagulawale reports.
The presentation of Kuka Center brought to the fore the essence of the country's democratic development and the process of nationhood, devoid of rancor across ethnic and religious divides that hitherto had been the bane of the country's national cohesion. President Jonathan was the special guest of honor at the event and recalled with nostalgia Nigeria's democratic experience, having witnessed the longest this time around, and harped on the need for Nigerians not only to consolidate on the gains of democracy, but nurture it to maturity.
Democracy is not just about political parties and politicians alone. It is not just about winning or losing elections. Democracy is about freedom. It's about our development and, above all, the forward march of our civilization and the encouragement of creativity. It is in this regard that we must seek to identify and support the growth of structures and institutions that will help strengthen our democracy to meet our aspirations as a people.
President Jonathan reminded the political class that democracy is about the people and meeting their aspirations with strong belief that the Kuka Center will make a difference.
Democracy is not all about politicians abusing themselves. Democracy is about people thinking about the people, discussing issues and ideas, and how to change the life of the people. And of course, a country like ours, the aspects of interreligious harmony is key and is great. And I believe that this Kuka Center will help do justice to that.
This is why I want to charge all the members of the political class to renew their commitment to democracy as the bedrock for building a united country. As the processes leading to the elections come on stream, I call on our politicians to put the country before their interests. There are laws guiding these processes.
The Kuka Center, a policy research institute, is an initiative of Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, Archbishop of Sokoto Catholic Diocese.
We're not going to solve the problems of Nigeria, but I think that moving forward, from the little experience I've had, I believe then as now, this is one heck of a country. Okay, it has not found its level yet, but I think that the worst is over for us in Nigeria. I believe that having successfully conducted these elections, they may not have been the fairest and the best elections in Nigeria, in the world, but I think Nigerians have shown very clearly the level of their commitment to democracy.
This center, like Bishop Kuka, will be many things to many people.
The nation Nigeria, by the leave of God, will thrive in goodness. And by the leave of God, this country will be better united.
The center, among other objectives, is to promote knowledge, champion peace and nation building, mentoring, and promote interfaith dialogue. In Abuja, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
Meanwhile, as part of its nationwide engagement for peace, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has held an interactive session with religious leaders in Nigeria. Chinedu Obike reports on the one-day summit which took place in Abuja.
Recently, top-rated traditional rulers in Nigeria were in Abuja for an interaction with INEC. Here, religious leaders are taking their turn, and the ultimate aim is to evolve ways of ensuring peace during and after the 2015 elections.
You, our religious leaders, are spiritual guides as well as moral beacons of the Nigerian society.
Ishmael Imani of INEC and Daud Toure of UNDP shared the same views with the chairman of INEC, while the representatives of the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs say they are ready to work for peace. In all these, Nigerian politicians are blamed for recruiting the young ones to work for them during campaigns.
You cannot use the young people to please as you please during the time you want to run for election, and then when you are an elected officer, you don't include them into the system to include them in making progress of their own life. It doesn't work that way.
Include them into the political system. Make them feel that they are part of the system and part of the polity, and they can become, from the age of 21, 22, 23, they should become councillors. They should be aspiring for something themselves so they wouldn't kill anybody for other people.
We need to speak with them to eschew violent tendencies, to promote peace, to guard their utterances, and to ensure that violent conducts do not mar our elections.
The INEC is working in collaboration with the United Nations Development Agency to organize a series of meetings with stakeholders. In Abuja, Chinedu Obike, NTA News.
And the presidential candidate on the platform of Hope Democratic Party, Chief Ambrose Owuru, says the party has been positioned with programs to re-engineer the polity and provide sound welfare policies for Nigerians. Chief Ambrose stated this shortly after emerging as the presidential flag bearer of the party at its third national convention held in Abuja. Correspondent Joseph Arok reports.
New beginning.
Chief Ambrose Albert Owuru, who is also the national chairman of Hope Democratic Party, was ratified as the presidential candidate of the party in a voice vote by stalwarts of the party across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
I think that our welfare program is all Nigeria needs. It will curb corruption. It will remove desperation from the ordinary citizens. They need welfare. You don't leave people out of job. You don't cushion effect of unemployment. Even advanced country where they have even thriving economy, they even give dole. They take care of the poor and impoverished people.
While urging Nigerians to vote for Hope Democratic Party in the 2015 general election, the presidential candidates regretted the disruption of the party's programs in the past 2 years and said the recent victory in the courts, which revived the party, is a victory for democracy. Joseph Orok, NTA News.
Turning to economic matters now, corruption, which has assumed a global dimension, is said to be the single greatest obstacle to economic and social development around the world. As the International Anti-Corruption Day is marked, correspondent Phoebe Kabrok takes a look at efforts made by Nigeria to address this cankerworm, especially against the backdrop of the country's ranking as the 136th most corrupt out of 176 countries.
It is estimated that each year $1 trillion are paid in bribes worldwide and another $2.6 trillion stolen annually through corruption, which is equivalent to more than 5% of the global gross domestic product. Corruption, observers say, is not only stealing money, but leads to weak governance, which in turn fuels organized crime, like human and drug trafficking, arms and migrant smuggling, money laundering, counterfeiting, and other forms of criminality that have slowed down development. Major stakeholders, international organizations, and anti-corruption agencies came together to further raise awareness and restate commitment to the fight against corruption under the global theme, Break the Corruption Chain.
If we must reduce corruption, resources commensurate to the magnitude of the menace and its effects must be deployed.
For every single child that sits under a tree instead of a regular classroom, it is because government funds have been diverted and there's corruption. For every patient that dies in the hospital because of the absence of proper Medicare, corruption is held responsible.
It is in an effort to fight the monster called corruption that the Nigerian government established the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, in 2001, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in 2004.
This job and this task of fighting corruption should not be left to statutory organizations and agencies that are charged with the responsibility of fighting corruption. It requires the contribution of each and every one of us.
Little Dorcas Adamu wants the way paid for her and other future leaders to realize her dream of becoming an accountant, and gives her own understanding of what corruption is.
Corruption is doing something that's not right.
Like what?
Like cheating in exams, like stealing.
I call on everyone to help end corruption and come together for global fairness and equity, as the world and its people can no longer afford nor tolerate corruption. These were the words of UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to the occasion. Interfaith anti-corruption manuals produced by the EFCC were unveiled. Phoebe Kabruk, NTA News.
And member states of the Organization for Economic Cooperation, D8, are in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, for the second High Council meeting on Technology Transfer and Exchange Network. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports that the meeting was used to facilitate discussion on technology and how it will translate to jobs and wealth creation.
Like some other small-scale entrepreneurs, Olajide Suleiman, a metal fabricator, said he has been looking forward to becoming self-employed and even an employer of labor, but he has been handicapped due to lack of access to credit.
If I can start from one, I think gradually, very soon, I will have the other machines also. I will employ at least, even I can still employ more than 7 to even to 20 self.
Consequently, members of the D8 countries seeks to reposition global economy, diversify and create new opportunities in trade relations, and improve the standard of living of their people.
Nigeria has a lot of contribution in terms of consolidating and collaborating the partnership as well as the cooperation among the D8 member states. It is the first and the only country which has established its permanent mission in Istanbul to show its commitment.
Minister, Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, Abdu Bulama, said the vision of the D8 is in consonance with the focus of the present administration.
Job creation, economic development and empowerment is the Mr. President's transformation agenda.
Patronizing made-in-Nigerian goods and the need to utilize the benefits abound in the relationship were also topical issues.
We need to look inwards to help our economy grow and stabilize,
looking to the south and to the Western countries. And it has not actually done us as much good as we deserve. We have not succeeded in learning.
Iran, Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Malaysia, Pakistan, Turkey, and host Nigeria are members of the Union. In Abuja, Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Air travelers have been provided with an online aviation passengers service portal designed to provide flight information to help passengers choose which airline performs to their expectations. Minister of Aviation Osita Chidoka launched the portal in Abuja, saying the initiative is to boost service delivery at the nation's airports. Correspondent Emmanuel Imero reports.
Before now, many air passengers have had to cope with whichever flight is available, as there was no performance module or portal to state how many times an airline has delayed or cancelled flights. Such monitoring system, which is being provided by the Aviation Ministry, is to enable passengers compare flight performance when making decision on which airline to fly.
Today, nobody has cancelled a flight. Dana Air has had 42% going on time. Discovery had 50% going on time. And Eric then put a 1 month time frame and see which airline consistently keeps to its time.
This is a very good initiative. I hope and pray that it will continue that way so that people will now give feedback. Based on the feedback, we will improve our services.
With this, the flying public now stands to benefit from compensation when complaints are properly channeled.
If you have more than 1 hour delay, you're entitled to 20%, maybe rebate on your next ticket. So the airline is going to issue a voucher, and we're going to stipulate on the web portal the timelines for all this to happen. So that will happen once we launch the Aviation Commits initiative.
The new initiative will also take into consideration the conduct of passengers, and erring ones may be blocked from flying. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Implementation of austerity measures in the Nigerian economy, occasioned by the falling prices of crude oil in the global market, has continued to generate reactions from concerned individuals and groups. Taiwo Dugbeson covered a media briefing in Abuja where some Nigerians urged the federal government to pay serious attention to the diversification of the economy rather than over-reliance on oil revenue.
To insulate the economy from falling crude oil prices, the federal government recently announced far-reaching policy measures to deal with the crashing crude oil prices. The 2015 oil benchmark was cut from $78 to $73 per barrel. It is against this backdrop that a group of civil society organizations in Nigeria came together to advocate for the promotion of a system in which domestic resources are effectively utilized for people-oriented development. The platform notes that government's pronouncements intend to place the poor at the center of the proposed measures. This platform, however, observes that government measures places taxes at the heart of revenue mobilization to offset the shortfall occasioned by dipping oil revenues. This, the platform says, underscores the point as domestic resource mobilization through tax is a more certain and reliable source of revenue compared to oil revenue, which is subject to price volatility and fluctuating market conditions.
Now what we want government to do is to be more prudent in its spending, is to be more proactive in its planning, and to be more coherent in its approaches, particularly when it comes to planning.
The platform also called on the Federal Ministry of Finance to ensure that its increase in the revenue targets to the Federal Inland Revenue Services is based on empirical computations. In Abuja, Taiwo Odugbeson, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. A recap of our major stories. We earlier informed you that Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan has appealed for a commitment to deepen the nation's democracy. You also heard that D8 member states are meeting in Abuja to facilitate the usage of technology for wealth creation. Still to come, implementation of austerity measure, groups urge federal government to diversify the economy. Details after the break.
He builds schools all over the country. He is giving free education to over 10,000 children. Born an Igbo man, raised in the north and empowered by the west. He believes in the unity of Nigeria. He transformed Imo in 3 years. Like Martin Luther King and Nnamdi Azikiwe, he is gifted with the power of oratory.
Education must be free, so that the children of the poorest of the poor can go to school.
Like Obafemi Awolowo, he is the Grand Commander of Free Education. Like Ahmad Bello, he is a symbol of unity. Like Nelson Mandela, he is the true emancipator of the people. Like Mother Teresa and Aminu Kano, he is a lover and true friend of the poor. And like Kwame Nkrumah, he is a detribalized Pan-Africanist.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
We begin this segment of the news with a health report. In a bid to complement government's efforts in the reduction of childhood vaccine preventable diseases, an orientation and training for state technical assistants has been held in Abuja. Chiazala Meki reports that this was at the instance of the European Union project and the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Data from the World Health Organization reveals that 1 out of 5 infants worldwide do not receive the 3 life-saving doses of vaccines, about 2.3 million deaths annually in all age groups. Sadly, some vaccine-preventable diseases like polio, whooping cough, measles, and others that have been eliminated still occur. It is to tackle this menace that the European Union delegation is engaging technical assistance from 23 states of Nigeria and the FCT on improving immunization governance.
This project will focus on the governance, it will focus on accountability, transparency, it will focus on building management capacity of government staff to deliver routine relation services at top quality.
Representative of the Executive Secretary, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, commended EU for making great commitments in Nigeria's health sector.
Over the last 2 years, we've moved from 47% coverage to over 80% coverage. I think it's been a remarkable leap. It's just been very remarkable.
They are going to support us to improve on our routine immunization, which is highly welcome. As we all know, Kano State is one of the endemic states for polio, and inshallah, this year we hope to exit from the polio endemicity.
The project, which began in 2011, is expected to be completed in 2018 with a view to improving effective routine immunization in the country. Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
Into some reports outside Nigeria, the United States CIA report launched by George Bush after 9/11 attack expected to be released amid fears of violence. And 2014 Gulf Cooperation Countries Summit begins in Qatar to discuss regional security. Details as compiled by Basi Itaikang.
The United States has stepped up security in the U.S. embassies and military bases around the world as there are concerns that the U.S. torture reports may lead to violence. Report says the CIA has for some time been trying to block out as many pages as it can before making it public.
Grave concerns that the CIA's search may well have violated the separation of powers principles embodied in the United States Constitution.
U.S. President Barack Obama insists that the report be released, but his Secretary of State has called for reconsideration of the time of the release. The full report that runs for about 6,000 pages will be classified. The public will get to see a censored summary of about 480 pages. For the sake of unity, Gulf countries are meeting Qatar, capital of Doha, to discuss growing security threats in the Middle East posed by fighters from Islamic States of Iraq. Report says the Gulf countries' leaders may agree on forming a joint military command. The summit is not only worried about the coalition ISIL has joined, but also relationship with Egypt, Iran, and ongoing conflict in Libya and Yemen. The theme of the summit is reconciliation and solidarity. Aside from security and political danger, there is also a major economic problems threatening the unity of the GCC.
Turning to sports now, National President's Cup kicks off in Lagos as sports fans tip Super Falcons. Let's join Fisaya Ogunfoyi for these and more on Sports Update.
20 youth football teams have begun hostilities in the maiden Nigerian National President's Cup at the hockey pitch of the National Stadium in Lagos. Judge Gift reports that the round robin, which is designed to develop local players and coaches, saw Alpha Syria Force defeating Great Olympic 4-2 via penalties in the opening match.
It is a program meant to arrest the youth from crime so that at the end of the day they can harness the opportunity in football.
Football enthusiasts have charged Nigeria's Super Falcons to go all out and make the country proud at the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup in Canada. Some of them who spoke to NTA Sports believe that the African champions can scale through the so-called group of death, which also has the United States of America, Australia and Sweden, and record their best ever result in the championship.
Woman to woman, 11-11, ball to ball and boot to boot. Definitely the spirit of Nigeria in them, the black spirit, the power back of Africa can do it for them.
In basketball, Cleveland Cavaliers' LeBron James and Kyrie Irving were among several players who wore the I Can't Breathe protest t-shirts to draw attention to the increasing number of deaths suffered by African Americans in the hands of white police officers in the United States. I Can't Breathe were the last words said by Eric Garner, who died as a result of a chokehold in the hands of a white New York police officer, Daniel Pantelio. With Sports News Update, Fisaya Ogunfoyi, NTA News.
And Sports Update does it here on NTA International News at this time. Thanks for watching.